Hey everyone, and welcome back. I'm really excited for today's deep dive. When I saw the request to explore Reiki and the Law of One together, well, it really caught my attention.
Yeah, me too.
We've got some really cool sources lined up. Some are all about Reiki itself, others dive into the philosophy of the Law of One, and a few actually try to connect the two.
It's a fascinating intersection.
Okay, so are you ready to uncover some hidden connections?
Absolutely. Let's dive in.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So let's just start with Reiki itself. This whole idea of tapping into this universal energy, this healing energy, I mean, it all sounds too good to be true. Can you kind of break down how Reiki actually works? Like what's happening energetically?
Sure. So imagine there's this life force energy that flows through all living things.
Mm.
And in different traditions, it's known as ki, prana, chi.
Right, yeah.
And Reiki practitioners, they believe that this energy can become blocked or stagnant within us.
Okay.
And that leads to imbalances, physical, emotional, spiritual. So Reiki is about tapping into this universal energy source and channeling it to facilitate healing and restore balance.
So the name Reiki, like Rei meaning universal and Ki meaning life energy.
Exactly. Yeah. Miraculous rain of life energy.
Wow. Okay, so it's not the practitioner's own energy that's being used. They're acting more like a conduit.
Exactly. Yeah. One of our sources actually describes the practitioner as a hollow bamboo,
Hmm.
allowing the universal energy to flow through them to the recipient. And what's really interesting is that this energy is intelligent, meaning it intuitively goes where it's needed most,
Oh, wow.
regardless of where the practitioner places their hands.
That's fascinating. So, I've heard about people experiencing all sorts of sensations during Reiki, heat, tingling, deep relaxation.
Mm.
Are those like actual physical effects of the energy, or is it
Right.
more of like a placebo response,
That's a great question, and one that researchers have been exploring for some time.
Yeah.
While the scientific understanding of Reiki is still developing, many proponents believe that those sensations are direct evidence of the energy flowing through the body. Some sources even suggest that Reiki can have measurable effects on things like heart rate variability and brainwave patterns,
Wow.
pointing to tangible physiological changes.
So there is something more to it than just feeling good. It sounds like it could actually impact our physical health.
Yeah.
What types of conditions have people reported finding relief from using Reiki?
Yeah, it's important to remember that Reiki is not a replacement for conventional medicine.
Right, of course, yeah.
It's often seen as a complementary therapy that supports the body's natural healing abilities. That being said, our sources mention a really wide range of conditions that people have used Reiki for, including pain management, stress reduction, anxiety relief, even support during cancer treatment.
Hmm. It's amazing to think that something so simple as channeling energy could potentially have that kind of impact on our well-being. And speaking of profound, how does the law of one philosophy, how does that fit into all of this? What's the connection between Reiki and this idea of all is one?
Ah, that's where things get really interesting. The Law of One emphasizes the interconnectedness of all things.
Yeah.
It suggests that we're all part of the same universal energy, same source or creator. And when you think about it, Reiki is all about tapping into and working with that very same energy.
Right. So by practicing Reiki, are we somehow aligning ourselves with the principles of the law of one?
Potentially, yes. The Law of One places a strong emphasis on love, compassion, and service to others, and many Reiki practitioners believe that the practice inherently cultivates these qualities. By opening ourselves to the flow of universal energy, we're also opening ourselves to a greater sense of empathy, understanding, and connection with all beings.
Yeah, it's like by experiencing that energy flowing through us, we start to recognize that same energy in everything and everyone around us.
Yeah.
It's like suddenly seeing the world in a whole new light.
Do the sources mention specific examples of how Reiki can help us put the Law of One principles into practice?
They do. They emphasize the importance of using Reiki for self-healing first. Remember, all is one.
So when we heal ourselves, we're also contributing to the healing of the whole. The healthier and more balanced we are on an individual level, the more we can radiate that positive energy outward and support the well-being of others.
Okay, so that's a powerful idea. So taking care of ourselves isn't just selfish. It's actually an act of service. But what about actively helping others? Does Reiki have a role to play there?
Of course. Many Reiki practitioners offer treatments to others, using their skills to help facilitate healing and balance in those around them. It's a direct way of putting the Law of One principle of service into action.
Yeah. This makes me think about the energy centers, the chakras that I've heard so much about. Do those play a role in how Reiki works?
Absolutely. Our sources describe the chakras as spinning wheels of energy located along the spine, each associated with specific aspects of our physical, emotional, and spiritual being. Reiki practitioners believe that blockages in these chakras can manifest as various ailments or imbalances, and that by channeling Reiki energy, they can help clear those blockages and restore harmonious flow.
So it's not just about treating symptoms. It's about addressing the root cause of an issue on an energetic level.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is how each chakra relates to specific qualities that are also emphasized in the Law of One. For example, the heart chakra is associated with love and compassion, while the throat chakra is linked to communication and authenticity. By balancing these chakras through Reiki, we're not only promoting physical and emotional well-being, but also cultivating those very qualities that help us live in greater alignment with the Law of One.
So it's like we're tuning ourselves to the frequency of love and compassion, both within ourselves and in our interactions with the world around us.
Beautifully put. And that's just scratching the surface. There's so much more to explore when it comes to the interplay between Reiki and the Law of One.
Well, I am definitely hooked. Okay, so we've established that Reiki is about tapping into this universal energy for healing and balance, and that this practice can potentially help us embody the principles of the Law of One. But how does it actually work in practice? What are the specific techniques or approaches that Reiki practitioners use?
Great question. One of the things that distinguishes Reiki is that it's not just about techniques.
Oh,
It's about intention and allowing the energy to flow naturally. That being said, there are certain hand positions that practitioners use to focus the energy on different areas of the body.
so it's not like a massage where you're physically manipulating muscles and tissues,
No, not at all. Reiki is a non-invasive practice.
right?
The practitioner's hands are usually placed lightly on or just above the recipient's body, acting as conduits for the energy.
Okay, I see. So what kind of training is involved in becoming a Reiki practitioner? Is it something anyone can learn?
Yes, actually. That's one of the beautiful things about Reiki. It's accessible to anyone who feels called to it. There are different levels of training, usually starting with Reiki Level 1, where you learn the basic hand positions and principles of energy work. As you progress through the levels, you gain more in-depth knowledge and skills, including the ability to work with symbols that enhance the energy flow and even practice Reiki remotely.
Wow, so it's a whole system of practice and development, not just a one-time workshop. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say someone is intrigued by Reiki and wants to give it a try. What would you recommend as a first step?
I would say finding a reputable Reiki practitioner in your area is a great starting point.
Okay.
Experiencing a Reiki session firsthand can be incredibly insightful and can help you determine if it resonates with you.
And what about if someone wants to learn Reiki for themselves?
There are many qualified teachers offering Reiki training. Look for someone who aligns with your values and offers a comprehensive curriculum. Reiki is a beautiful journey of self-discovery and healing.
I'm already feeling inspired. Okay, so we've covered the basics of Reiki, its potential benefits, and even its connection to the Law of One. But there's so much more to uncover, right?
Absolutely. We've just scratched the surface. There's a whole universe of knowledge and experience waiting to be explored. In the next part of our deep dive, I'd like to delve deeper into the philosophical underpinnings of both Reiki and the Law of One and explore how we can use these principles to navigate our daily lives with greater awareness, compassion, and purpose.
Okay, I can't wait. To our listeners, I hope you're as captivated by this as I am. Stay tuned for part 2, where we will continue our journey into the fascinating world of Reiki and the Law of One.
As we delve deeper into this connection between Reiki and the Law of One, what strikes me is how both emphasize the idea of personal responsibility for our energy. It's not just about receiving healing. It's about becoming conscious creators of our own well-being and contributing to the well-being of others.
You know, that's a really interesting point. So much of our culture focuses on external factors, like what we eat, how much we exercise, the medications we take. But Reiki and the Law of One seem to suggest that we have more power over our health and well-being than we often realize.
Absolutely. And that power lies in our ability to connect with and manage our own energy. One of our sources describes the Law of One as a law of energy, meaning that everything in the universe is interconnected through energy. And as individuals, we have a capacity to influence that energy, both within ourselves and in the world around us, through our thoughts, emotions, and actions.
That sounds both empowering and a little daunting.
Yeah.
If our thoughts and emotions can actually impact the energy around us, that puts a lot of responsibility on us to be mindful of what we're putting out there.
Yes, It does. But it's also incredibly liberating. Imagine realizing that you're not just a victim of circumstance, but an active participant in shaping your reality. That's the kind of shift in perspective that both Reiki and the Law of One offer.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all ties together. By working with Reiki to clear energy blockages and cultivate a more harmonious flow within ourselves, we're essentially raising our own vibration,
Yeah.
which in turn can impact the energy of those around us, like a ripple effect, right?
Exactly. One of the core principles of the Law of One is that what you do to others, you do to yourself. So by focusing on our own healing and well-being, we're not only benefiting ourselves, but also contributing to the overall harmony of the universe. It's a win-win situation, really.
This is making me think about all the times I've felt drained or depleted after being around certain people or in certain environments. Could that be because their energy was somehow clashing with mine? Or maybe even pulling me down?
It's certainly possible. We're all energetic beings, and our energies can definitely interact and influence each other. Reiki teaches us to become more aware of those energetic interactions and to develop practices for protecting and replenishing our own energy field.
So it's not just about sending out good vibes all the time. It's also about being mindful of what we're absorbing from others and the environment around us.
Absolutely. One of our sources uses the analogy of a garden. If you want your garden to flourish, you need to tend to the soil, water the plants, and remove any weeds that might be hindering growth. The same applies to our own energetic field. We need to nourish ourselves with positive experiences, thoughts, and emotions, and be mindful of any negative influences that might be draining our energy.
That's a great analogy. It makes the whole concept of energy management feel much more tangible and practical.
And that's what's so beautiful about Reiki. It provides practical tools for tending to our own energetic garden.
Okay, so we've talked about the importance of self-healing and energy management. But how does this translate into actually living in alignment with the law of one? How can we use Reiki to become more loving, compassionate, and service-oriented in our daily lives?
Well, one of the key takeaways from our sources is that Reiki can help us cultivate a deeper connection to our own intuition. Remember, Reiki energy is intelligent. It flows where it's needed most. And as we practice Reiki, we become more attuned to that subtle guidance, both within ourselves and in our interactions with others.
So it's like we're developing a finer-tuned sense of what's truly aligned with our highest good and the highest good of others.
Exactly. And as we learn to trust that inner guidance, we're more likely to make choices that are in harmony with the principles of a law of one.
This reminds me of something we touched on earlier, the 7 chakras.
hmm
Do our sources go into more detail about how working with the chakras through Reiki can help us embody the law of one?
They do. They emphasize that each chakra represents a different aspect of our being, and that imbalances in these energy centers can manifest as specific challenges or blockages in our lives. For example, a blockage in the heart chakra might manifest as difficulty giving or receiving love, while a blockage in the throat chakra could lead to communication problems or a feeling of not being able to express ourselves authentically.
That makes so much sense. I've definitely experienced times when I've felt closed off or blocked in certain areas of my life. And I wonder if it could be related to an imbalance in one or more of my chakras.
It's certainly worth exploring. Reiki practitioners often use specific techniques to balance and harmonize the chakras, such as focusing Reiki energy on specific chakra points, using visualizations, or incorporating affirmations or mantras that resonate with each chakra's qualities.
So it's not just about channeling energy in a general sense. It's about working with the subtle energy system of the body in a more targeted way.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is how the qualities associated with each chakra align with the principles of the Law of One. For example, the sacral chakra is associated with creativity and sensuality, encouraging us to embrace the joy and abundance of life. The solar plexus chakra is linked to personal power and self-esteem, reminding us of our inherent worthiness and capacity to manifest our desires. And the crown chakra, located at the top of the head, connects us to our spiritual essence and the divine, guiding us towards a sense of unity and interconnectedness with all things.
It's like we have this whole map of our being laid out within us. And Reiki provides the tools to navigate that map and cultivate those qualities that bring us into greater alignment with our highest potential,
Yeah.
the principles of the law of one.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And what's even more exciting is that this journey of self-discovery and healing is ongoing. It's not about reaching some static state of perfection. It's about continually refining our energy, expanding our awareness, and deepening our connection to the universal flow of love and compassion.
It's a lifelong adventure, really, and one that we can all embark on together.
Absolutely. And that brings us to another key aspect of the Law of One, the importance of community and collaboration. Our sources highlight that we're not meant to walk this path alone. We're here to support each other, share our experiences, and learn from one another.
I love that. It's a reminder that we're all in this together, even when it feels like we're facing our own individual challenges.
Right. And Reiki can be a powerful tool for strengthening those bonds of community, whether it's through offering Reiki treatments to friends and family, joining a Reiki circle, or simply sharing our knowledge and experiences with others. We can contribute to a collective energy of healing and transformation.
This makes me wonder if Reiki can have such a profound impact on individuals. What could it do for the world if it were practiced more widely? Could it actually contribute to creating a more peaceful and harmonious society?
That's a really interesting question. One that our sources seem to suggest is definitely within the realm of possibility. They point out that as more individuals raise their own vibration through practices like Reiki, it can have a ripple effect on the collective consciousness, contributing to a shift towards greater love, compassion, and understanding.
Wow, that's a powerful thought. It's like we each have the potential to be a beacon of light radiating positive energy outward and influencing the world around us.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be grand gestures. Even small acts of kindness performed with a heart full of love and compassion can contribute to that collective shift.
This has given me a whole new perspective on the power of intention. If our thoughts and emotions truly can impact the energy around us, then even something as simple as sending a silent blessing to someone who's struggling can make a difference.
It certainly can. And that's the beauty of both Reiki and Love One. They empower us to realize that we're not just passive observers in this world. We're active creators, and we have the power to choose love, compassion, and healing in every moment.
That's a truly inspiring message. I'm already feeling a renewed sense of hope and possibility. Okay, so we've talked about how Reiki can help us cultivate greater self-awareness, balance our energy, and connect with our intuition. We've also explored how these practices can support us in living in greater alignment with the principles of the Law of One, love, compassion, and service to others. But what about the practicalities of actually incorporating Reiki into our daily lives? Do our sources offer any guidance on that?
They do. And one of the most common suggestions is to establish a regular self-Reiki practice. This could involve setting aside a few minutes each day to sit or lie down and channel Reiki energy to yourself, focusing on specific areas where you feel tension or imbalance, or simply allowing the energy to flow where it's needed most.
So it's like a daily meditation, but with an energetic component.
Exactly. And the benefits can be profound.
Mm.
By making self-Reiki a regular practice, we can create a more harmonious inner environment, strengthen our connection to the universal energy, and cultivate a greater sense of peace, clarity, and well-being.
I love that idea. It's like taking a few moments each day to recharge our batteries and reconnect with our own inner source of healing and strength.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And the more we cultivate that inner harmony, the more we can radiate that energy outward and contribute to the well-being of others.
It's a beautiful cycle, really. It's like the more we heal ourselves, the more we can heal the world around us.
Exactly. And that's the essence of the Law of One, recognizing that we're all interconnected and that our individual choices and actions have ripple effects that extend far beyond ourselves.
As we wrap up this deep dive into Reiki and the Law of One, I keep thinking about how both of them really emphasize the power of choice.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's not about being swept along by circumstances.
Yeah.
It's about actively shaping our reality
Yeah.
through the choices we make every day.
Yeah. One of the things that really resonated with me from our sources was this idea that we're not just physical beings having a spiritual experience,
Right.
but rather spiritual beings having a physical experience.
I love that.
And through practices like Reiki, we can start to tap into that deeper spiritual essence and align our choices with our higher purpose.
I love that. It's a reminder that we're not just here to go through the motions,
Right.
but to evolve, to grow, to become more aligned with the love and wisdom that reside within us.
Exactly. And that's where Reiki's potential to enhance creativity and intuition comes in. One source suggests that by balancing our energy and connecting with that universal flow, we can open ourselves to a greater influx of creative inspiration and intuitive insights.
So it's like Reiki can help us tap into that wellspring of creativity that we all have within us,
Yeah.
but that often gets blocked by stress,
Oh, totally.
negative thoughts, limiting beliefs.
Absolutely.
What if those were actually glimpses into our true potential, just waiting to be unlocked?
It's a powerful thought, isn't it? And it's a reminder that we're all capable of so much more than we often believe. Reiki and the Law of One invite us to step outside those self-imposed limitations and embrace the fullness of who we truly are.
This is making me think about the Law of One's emphasis on service to others. If we're all connected and we all have this incredible potential, how can we use our gifts and talents to contribute to the well-being of the collective? How can we be of service in a way that feels authentic and aligned with our purpose?
That's a wonderful question, and one that I believe has a unique answer for each individual. One of our sources emphasizes that true service flows from a place of love and joy.
Hmm.
It's not about forcing ourselves to do things we don't enjoy or feeling obligated to help everyone in need. It's about finding those areas where our passions and talents intersect with the needs of the world and allowing our service to flow naturally from that place of alignment.
That makes so much sense. It's about finding that sweet spot where our hearts sing and we feel a genuine sense of purpose and fulfillment in what we're doing.
Exactly. And I believe Reiki can help us tune into those deeper desires and passions. By connecting with our intuition and allowing our energy to flow freely, we can start to discern those areas where we can truly make a difference in a way that feels both joyful and meaningful.
This has been such an incredible journey. I feel like I've gained so much insight into Reiki, the Law of One, and the power we each hold to create a more loving and harmonious world. But before we wrap up, is there anything else our sources offer in terms of practical tips or guidance for living in alignment with these principles?
Let me see. One source suggests incorporating simple mindfulness practices into our daily routine.
Okay.
It could be as simple as taking a few deep breaths before reacting to a stressful situation,
Yeah.
practicing gratitude for the good things in our lives,
Right.
or consciously choosing to speak kind words to ourselves and others.
Hmm.
These small acts of awareness can have a profound impact on our energy and help us stay connected to the present moment where true peace and joy reside.
It's so easy to get caught up in the busyness of life
Oh, I know.
and forget to slow down, breathe,
Yeah,
and appreciate the beauty that surrounds us.
absolutely. And by incorporating these mindfulness practices, we can cultivate a greater sense of presence, gratitude, and connection to the world around us.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling incredibly inspired and empowered by this deep dive.
Me too.
It's like a whole new world of possibility has opened up.
It has been a true pleasure exploring these concepts with you.
And to our amazing listener, thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and perhaps even a renewed sense of purpose and direction. Remember, you are a powerful being of light, capable of creating positive change within yourself and in the world around you.
Embrace the principles of Reiki and the Law of One. Cultivate your connection to the universal energy, and let your actions be guided by love, compassion, and service to others.
Namaste.
Namaste.